Hey guys, welcome to this video. My name is Yao Cong and I am a freelance musician based in Singapore. Part of the work I do is teaching in local schools, and with that comes auditioning a lot of students for the DSA program. It's been a while since I posted on YouTube, but this topic has been at the back of my mind, and I thought this was the perfect time to post, it being the June holidays and also with all the DSA interviews and auditions coming up in a couple of weeks' time. I'll broadly talk about three areas: the interview, the actual playing audition, and also coping with this whole process being online now during the pandemic, which of course introduces many new considerations or constraints. I'll leave timestamps below should you want to skip forward to any section. Let's start by quickly covering what the DSA or Direct School Admission is. Introduced in 2004, the DSA allowed Primary 6 or Sec 4 students to seek entry into a school before taking the PSLE or O-levels. They can apply under a wide range of talents, some of which include sports and games, visual literacy, and performing arts, which I will focus on today in this video. Everybody can apply, but it is quite competitive, especially for the more popular schools. For performing arts, the process usually includes an audition on your instrument and an interview, though do note that this does vary from school to school. So the first thing I would like to talk about is the interview. To be honest, this is not my area of expertise, and it's usually the teachers or HOD who speaks to the student during this process. But having sat through quite a few interviews, what I can say is, broadly speaking, the common mistake that students make would be either to over-prepare or under-prepare. By over-preparing for the interview, many students come across as if they are public speaking and have memorized some model answer. I think this can come across as very forced, robotic even, and while I applaud the effort, I'm not sure this is the way forward. Often, the interview process is for the school to find out more about your personality, interests, and experiences. You really should feel like you're having a conversation as much as possible. On the other hand, we have some students who really aren't prepared at all. This, of course, doesn't reflect well on you, and if you never bothered to find out even a little bit about the school or the CCA or program you're applying for, how will you know what they're offering and if it fits you? The common topics that are usually discussed during the interview, which you should prepare for, are things like sharing any leadership positions in primary school, what personal qualities you wish to highlight, how you can contribute to the CCA or program, and perhaps questions like how you might overcome adversity or setback. Do have a think about this, but remember, don't over-prepare. Next up, we have the audition, which is usually the important segment in assessing your talent. The most common mistake I see during auditions, especially for the players with just band background and no instrument teacher, is picking the wrong solo piece. Often I see students choose to play their band part, for example, the set or choice piece from SYF that year. This is a very bad idea. Even if you play a melodic instrument like the flute or the trumpet, your part is still not a good representation of your skills on the instrument. Worse still, if you play the tuba or the bass drum and play your band part, this solo almost serves no purpose at all for the panel to audition you. So please don't make this mistake. Choose a suitable piece, either a solo piece written for your instrument or at least something arranged for it. You can even choose to play studies if you do not have access to a solo piece. Anything is almost better than a band part, so please ask your conductor or try to look for professional advice if you can. The next thing I notice with some students is mixing up the requirements of what they are expected to prepare or play for the audition. Frequently, students apply for more than one school, and this can cause some confusion in remembering all the different requirements. I think we all know that everybody applies for a lot of schools, but please make sure you prepare for the correct audition and note down the differences between schools so you don't make this mistake. Check and double check your skills or any other special requests that might exist. Don't just assume that it's all a solo piece. And actually do prepare for sight reading as well. I think this is quite an important skill which does come out in auditions and a lot of students seem to neglect. I've seen many students play very well for their solo and scales but crumble when asked to read like a simple melody or rhythm. If this is a weakness in your playing, do constant sight reading practice of simple studies and if possible in many different keys. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is online interviews and auditions. I think this pandemic is lasting much longer than most people expect, and having an interview or audition online might stay the norm for quite a while more. In any case, having this online does come with its own set of problems. For example, sound quality issues, dealing with the occasional lag or a lot of lag, and even getting used to playing to a screen instead of the usual live way. So let's break this all down. I think the first thing everyone can do is to get a decent cheap microphone. There are many options available, and the one I found on Lazada which is suitable for capturing decent sound is this BOYA MM1 microphone, which costs around $40. Getting a microphone significantly ups the audio quality for the listener, and I think this will help with performing your best online. Of course, if this is too expensive and not possible, do find out if you can use your phone instead for the online audition. Generally speaking, the microphone is slightly better than the microphones of most laptops, but do check and compare to see which is better. And on that note, make sure to also practice and test out your equipment. Last year when we first did all these online auditions, there were so many instances where laptops didn't work, either the microphones or the cameras were down, which meant they had to scramble to look for alternative solutions in that 20 minutes. And you really don't want to be dealing with this on the day or time of your audition. I think this adds to the stress of performance, and these variables really can be controlled before you audition. So do check your equipment. Even if you must use the school laptop, make sure you ask your teacher if you can do a trial run maybe a couple of days before. Get someone who is free and you trust to listen to you on the other end to make sure everything is stable and working. And finally, as a backup, and whether this is a requirement or not, I highly recommend sending in a recorded track of your audition or at least your solo piece to the school together with your application. You can mention that this is just a backup in case the Zoom or Skype interview has really bad connection. I think this is just good practice, and in the event things don't work out equipment wise on that day, or perhaps you suffer from very bad lag, this is an option at least you can fall back on. And with that, those are some of the things I think you should look out for while preparing for your DSA audition. Thanks for staying till the end. If you found this video helpful, do remember to like and also share it with anyone that might need to watch this. Please also comment below your thoughts on the DSA program, or if there are any tips or mistakes I might have missed. I'll make sure to pin your comments so others can see it too. So remember, just as the schools are looking for the best talents that fit their system or programs, you should make sure that the school fits you too. Remember to choose well, think carefully, and identify what you might want to pursue for the next few years. If not, the dream school might turn out to be a not very nice experience after all. Good luck everyone.